House Edge Sports Network welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Capital Amateur Football Association.
There comes a moment when every man must declare their allegiance.
And welcome to HESN Live, a special presentation of the NCAFA football season. We've got the Midget Big Ten Conference with the Bel Air Norsemen versus the North Gloucester Giants. I'm here with Tyler. I'm Jesse Card. Kickoff is just about set. The Giants will receive, and we've got Josh Strang, number 6 for the Norsemen, ready to kick off for the Norsemen.
One of my favorite. There's a new TV show on Netflix called Norseman. Actually, it's like a comedy show, sort of like here we go.
And it's a short kick to the far side, and it is going to be recovered by the Giants, number 10.
Love Josh Strang as a player. Very, very flexible player. He can kick. He's a great receiver, like we talked about. Multi-skilled football player.
Tyler Sherlock with the catch of the kick. It's going to set up 1st and 10 towards midfield for the Giants. And that's Alex Lafleur taking the snaps today. He has been the starter all season for this Giants team. They were very disappointed after going 28 to being blown out 28-0 versus the number 1 ranked Hornets, but they have been able to come back. They played Norseman strong, putting up 26 points and getting the victory. They're looking to carry on with the success of last week. Out of the shotgun, here's Lafleur. He passes to his right side, a little bit short, and that's going to go incomplete.
Right read, didn't execute the throw, but that's not a bad start. Get out there. Get your feet wet, see what happens. Nothing bad happened.
So we mentioned that the Giants will be without their star running back, but they do say that they're not worried. They have another couple runners that they want to get the ball to. Guys that are going to be moving up next year and being part of this program again. So towards the end of this season, they want to get them reps. 2nd and 10, Lafleur out of the shotgun, 1 back behind him. He's going to fake it and go over top to Richard Graham, and he almost brought that one in, but he got hit hard there over the middle.
And like we talked about in the evolution of football, in the old days, we know what that player would have done to him. He would have sent him flying, but he held back. He made a play on the football. Richard Graham does look like he's hurt, but it could be more of a wrist jam, a finger, an arm. He's not lying on the ground concussed, because that's what we're trying to avoid with those big hits. So good job by number 24 right there, Jake Smith, for the Norsemen by holding back.
Let's have a quick look at that, Tyler. And we talked about Jake Smith having some questionable hits at the safety, and we had that chat on the podcast.
Yeah.
Maybe he's learned a little bit about how to be a little bit more disciplined. That was a good shoulder hit.
Shoulder to shoulder, shoulder to chest. No jumping, no head hunting, so that's good to see. But still a good defensive play. I love Jake Smith as a player. Really great football instincts.
Well, and you know the thing with
3rd and 10.
3rd and 10. The thing with, here we go. Lafleur out of the shotgun again. He's going to pass for the 3rd time. It's bounced up. That could be picked off. It's going to be intercepted. He's got a lot of room in front of him, and he's going to score.
France Paul.
Pick 6.
Big play by France Paul there. Great opportunity on defense. The ball bumped up. Great throw by Lafleur, actually. The receiver just wasn't able to get there in time. Again, the right read, the throw was right there. Receiver wasn't able to haul it in, hit the helmet of the defender, bounced up in the air, and France Paul with the huge interception, taking it all the way 6-0 Norseman.
So this is a good start, obviously, for the Norsemen, but just an unlucky bounce. You know, sometimes putting it in the air, you're gonna have chances like that. Wacky things can happen.
You know what? I don't think that's an unlucky bounce. What I think that's good defensive play, getting on the ball, making sure that you're there.
So let's have a look at the replay, maybe get a better idea of what exactly occurred there.
So from my recollection, what I remember seeing was Lafleur stepped in the pocket, delivered a nice throw, and the football was just out of the reach of the receiver. Right?
Oh,
you know,
that's a great play.
That's a good play all around. That's a good throw. Great play that by the defender. Great play. Tip drill, France Paul.
Tip drill. Catch at its highest point, but that's big for the Norsemen and a big play for the defense to get them ahead 7-0 early on.
And you talk about the impact that Baptiste not being there can have. What did the Giants do on the first 3 plays there, Jesse? They passed the football. They didn't give an opportunity to the new running backs to even show their stuff. What I would like, but also like now that I'm thinking about it, it actually is a good opportunity for their offense to really try to focus on some of the finer points of the passing game.
Yeah.
And maybe they're making a concerted effort to not run the football when they could be taking this chance in a game that doesn't totally mean everything in the standings.
So Bel Air will kick off again and try to repeat the success of that first series on defense. They kick a big one, that Strang, and is that going in the end zone? No, that's going to be just out of bounds at about the 2-yard line, so that's going to come up, and it's going to give them good field position.
So always a bad penalty to take. I never like a penalty on a kickoff because what that does, that's free field position. I think they get the ball at the 30, 45-yard line. I thought the 45-yard line, but it's the 40. And mistake by Josh Strang right there. Don't want to kick it out of bounds.
Yeah, but that's okay. I mean, they're going to rely on him a lot, I think, in the playoffs. As the weather gets cold and the midget heats up, they're going to be needing those field goals. Lafleur out of the shotgun. He's going to hand it off this time. And
it's a nice run.
A nice little run right through the middle, and he's going to pick up probably, I'd say, close to a first down.
And that's Rogan Wilson. We know him.
Logan Wilson.
No, Rogan. He was a rig. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Rojan Wilson. He played at the Raiders, I believe, Bantam. When you played against him when you were coaching for the Bell Warriors. So I think he's an ex-Raider. Great run there.
He does pick up the first down, and that's going to give the Giants first down towards midfield.
So they run on the first down. They get 10 yards after 3 consecutive passes.
Okay, Graham comes to be in the backfield here, and they're going to hand off again on a counter. Rojan. And that's Rojan again. He doesn't have much, and he's going to be wrapped up. Oh, that's Lacusa on the tackle, violently throwing him to the ground and trying to get his defense going here.
That's actually France Paul, same guy who made the interception, number 28 right there.
Oh, my mistake. I'm sorry.
But that's all right. That's 2 big plays right now by France Paul on defense with the interception return for a touchdown and a great defensive play on I wouldn't even call that a stretch play. I would almost call that an off tackle where he bounced it outside because of the pressure up inside. So we got a big loss here. 2nd and 16, Jesse.
2nd and 16, and Lafleur had to do this in the Hornets game due to penalties. He started with long first downs all the time, 2nd and long, and it really got them in trouble in that game. So hopefully they don't have this occur too often. He's out of the shotgun. He's going to roll to his left and look for somebody. He's going to short throw that, but they're going to say that's no, they're going to say that's incomplete.
That was incomplete. That was
and just maybe a little bit of a. I would say that's not a bad penalty. They hesitated blowing the whistle there. So as a defender, you don't really know. You've got to play to the whistle, and if they don't blow the whistle, you tackle the guy.
Yeah, that's no one really blew the whistle with force. I never like when the referees don't blow the whistle. If you're going to blow it, you got to blow it. I think that probably didn't need to be called a penalty, but I think because the hit was a little high, they're not going to give the defender the benefit of the doubt. It looks like that was number 4, so that was Josie Lacusa with the penalty right there. So, again, Don Wilcox right there made that call. I'm going to give it to Don. I think he knows what's right. He must have seen something there.
Giants with another first down. 3 receivers up top. 2 to the weak side. And he's going to look to pass. fires left and deep, and good positioning there by the defensive back. That's the strong side corner.
Joseph Boetti, and that's a good defensive play right there. And what I noticed by the quarterback for the Giants in the pocket, Lafleur, great footwork, drops back, plants his foot, delivers a nice spiral every time. I don't think the receiver worked hard enough to get on the outside of the defender. That's a great play by the defense, but I'd like to see the receiver fight a little more for the ball.
Well, if we have just a quick look, we might... I think he was really well positioned, and I think he was running the route for the receiver, which is what you try to do.
That's right.
So we're back to live action here on a 2nd and 10.
Audible call on the line of scrimmage.
High snap. Lafleur decides to run it. He's in trouble immediately, and that's Jake Smith who makes the tackle.
That's actually Jake Papalia.
Sorry, Jake. I got half of that right.
You got half of that right. That's Jake Papalia.
That's
nice
Papalia.
Tackle. Great tackle right there. A little bit of a bad snap.
Actually, somebody I said, you don't know how to say Papalia yet.
I know.
It's how are you saying it?
Papalia?
Yeah. It's Papalia.
Papalia.
Papalia is what they prefer, actually. So
Papalia it is.
They're gonna like it that I corrected you there.
Thank you, sir.
But now we've got 3rd down. Obviously, in the Big Ten Midget division, it's a 4-down field. So look for maybe a screen or a drag underneath. He's gonna go deep again, stretching the field, and that's hit away there by number 2.
Isaac Ombotimbe.
And
Great play.
Isaac is obviously a star on this team.
Yep.
He's the first play of the season against the Greenfield Park Packers. He returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown.
Yep.
He's got another one later on in the season. He's gotten an interception for a touchdown. He's made plays all over all the season. And he, if this team is going to turn the corner, it's going to make a run in the playoffs. It's guys like that are going to have to step up and make plays for this Norseman team.
He's always around the ball, whether on offense, on defense, or on special teams. He's always around the ball. He's going to be returning this kick, actually, so we'll see what he does with it right now.
And it looks like kind of a directional kick, but it is going to make it in the arms. Oh, it's an unfavorable bounce there for the Giants, but he still picks it up. They're going to call no yards, and they're going to have to get him down. He's going to have to tuck that ball in, though.
That's number 30, Muhammad Abdul Qadir. The last time we filmed, I know he had a couple interceptions when they played the Myers Riders. Nonetheless, you want to see that ball tucked away, but I do like the play by the Bel Air Norsemen, understanding the sport of CFL football to understand they can pick up that ball. There's no risk to them. Penalty on the play. They're going to move the ball up 5 yards. What I would say, though, is I'd like to see number 2 be the one returning that football, not number 30.
Well, on those plays when the ball bounces backwards like that, it's all hell breaks loose.
But what's the rule as the returner? You want to make sure you get under that football because, as we all know, a 15-yard penalty on no yards when the ball is caught in the air, and if the ball bounces, it's only a 5-yard penalty. So you want to make sure you put pressure on the return team to get down there, and I would like to see number 2 get under the football.
Yeah, and that comes with confidence returning. This is a big game. Second week in a row, and we're going to see the Norsemen's offense here for the first time, and that's Nolan Harris getting the start at quarterback for the Norsemen. They're going to hand it off, and that's Rivera just off to the right side of the tackle.
Yeah, I'm going to assume it's Rivera. I didn't get a glimpse of the number as he went in there. Couldn't get a good angle, but
that's him.
Number 21 will be Rivera if that's him, Steven Rivera.
I really like this Steven Rivera.
Great kid. Great on the football field.
He's come up through the Lions program.
Yep.
And he's getting a chance as a 16-year-old to be featured as a feature back in this Big Ten league.
He's the type of guy that we want to make sure we keep in the system because he's an incredible football player and a good kid.
Harris back to pass. He's going to go over the middle looking for Josh Strang, and that was nearly intercepted, really.
Yeah, I'm going to see here, number 2 for the Giants, that's Samir Lucien. And he's a great football player. I love to see Samir Lucien play football. He's one of those great kids you like to see in the Giants program. So great play, almost an interception right there after the bad pass by Nolan Harris and a little bit of a drop by Josh Strang there. But sort of a good play all around. Nothing big happened.
No, so 3rd and 9 for Harris and the Norsemen. And he's going to hand off to Steven Rivera, and he just changes his direction but goes nowhere, as that's a great play by the Giants defense. And I talked to Chris Lalonde, head coach of the Giants, and I asked him about how they were feeling after that Hornets loss and the undisciplined play that they seem to still plague this Giants team. And he said listen, they have a strong signal that anything stupid, like after the play, any kind of talking, is going to result in being sitting on the bench for a player. So hopefully that is going to be a deterrent to them taking some of these plays that they've been doing now. The Norseman back to punt. That's Strang, number 6. Good snap. And he gets it off, and a good one. Nice and high. It's going to bounce again, though. And it's going to be returned. A nice cut, and then he just puts a shoulder down right into the number of 83 making the tackle there. Francis Tao.
And I didn't see what number made the return there, but that was a nice little return there for the Giants. Good special teams play all around. One of those things that I always harp on, as everyone knows, is sort of how many plays are happening on special teams in a football game and how important those plays are. A lot of people don't maybe play some of their best players all the time in special teams, but those are plays that can change the dynamic in a football game real quickly, and you can make up a lot of yards on a good special teams play.
So a correction in the score is actually being told that it was 6-0.
It's hard to see because they don't say good. They point the finger up one. I don't know what's going on.
Well, you can look at the score here while I do the replays and get us that. That's a run right up the middle to Lucien. He breaks forward. Or, sorry, that's Rojan, I believe.
Yes, that's Rojan. Yep.
Rojan up the middle, and what a start for the run game for the Giants. That's what you like to see.
I do like that they came out passing, trying to maybe catch the Bel Air Norsemen off guard, but we've seen 2 running plays. They've gotten 2 first downs on it. I want to see them build a running game right now and maybe develop a little bit of play action off of it. They want to throw the football, but set your quarterback up for success rather than making it so difficult on him.
So 1st and 10, and a reverse on the jet sweep. He finds a little bit of room, but he is dragged down by number 28 of the Norsemen.
That's France Paul again, number 28. We should just remember that name. He's making plays all day. And that's number 82 for the Giants. Oh, yeah.
So if they can get a run game going, that's going to be just so big because we do know that LaFleur has a big arm, and he's not afraid to chuck it. Yeah, he just missed a few receivers in that Hornets game. He missed Gravel on a couple long, deep balls where he had positioning. That's Rojan again just churning his legs and picking up maybe 2 or 3 yards there. He's going to set up a 3rd and manageable.
Making it easy on your quarterback. What I want to see is more manageable 3rd down plays and play action off of it. If you're not making play action, it's very difficult for the quarterback to be throwing the ball on 2nd and 16 on 16-yard drag routes.
It's a good point. So a manageable 3rd down here for the Giants, and maybe the first critical 3rd down conversion that they're going to go for. It's 3 minutes left in the first quarter. They're on the other team's half of the field here, and
great job by the Giants. That's offside on the Norseman.
We're going to let the referees clean this call up. And if we just go back to that run play, Tyler.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at what we see here.
That's a great run.
Great job by the D-line of the O-line of the Giants to clear that way.
You get to the 2nd level as a running back, you want to see that acceleration. That's a great run. I like him keeping it inside, getting those yards inside. I like it.
Back to live action. 1st and 10 for the Giants after that offside. And still in the shotgun is LaFleur. He's going to see something. He's going to walk up to the line.
Looks like they're coming, but it could be some guys
they
drop
could be
back.
just stemming here. Nope, they're going to come.
They are coming.
So he's going to get rid of that ball, and he's going to throw another interception.
That's Tyler.
Tyler gets one.
Tyler Gloucester.
And he is brought out of bounds at around the 35-yard line, and a good start. This Norseman defense is not disappointing, and they're doing it for their team at this point.
Every game we see Tyler Gloucester makes a big play. He's a big athletic player, and when you have an all-out blitz and as a quarterback you have an opportunity to pick the receiver that you want, you throw it right to a defender. Tough play for the Giants right there, but another huge play by the Bel Air Norsemen on defense.
So we see here on the replay, just as we get quickly, they're going to get back into action. But, yeah, that's just an ill-advised throw.
The receiver cut outside, quarterback threw inside.
So back to live action. Norseman got the ball back, and that's Harris with I formation beside him. He's going to play action and throw it out to Strang. Strang cuts back, doesn't get much there. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage or nearly.
Good play by the Giants defense. They all swarmed to the football, made them cut back inside to where the help's coming from. Good play overall by the Giants defense. And what I like about the Giants defense is that when they get their mojo going, they seem to be real physical and real aggressive towards that football.
Definitely, they come downhill hard. They have a great defense. They have a lot of guys in the linebacker position that can rotate through.
Yeah.
Their secondary showed that they're capable of being exposed. I wonder if this is something that the Norsemen are going to look to do.
Yeah. It's a nice play right there. Nice running play. Lakusa, like you said. Good play.
And I think they're just going to set the tone a little bit. This has been kind of a fast-paced turnovers, lots of turnovers, a pick six. So sometimes as a head coach, do you think, Tyler, you just want to slow her down and get a sense of what people are doing out there?
I think that they're both settled in now. I think that both the interceptions were aggressive interceptions by the Giants.
Harris is going to pass. He's looking over the middle. He's going to get Strang, but he is sandwiched.
Samir Lucien.
And number 3.
Another one of those good plays, though, where he didn't hit him in a way that the referee would be forced to throw a flag. That's a good play right there.
Darius McKenzie.
Darius McKenzie, number 2?
Number 3 of
number
the Giants. Now,
okay.
that's a good play. Strang's a tough kid, though. He likes to go over the middle.
Yes.
He's got sure hands, and he's not afraid to do that for his quarterback.
Hey.
Those two know each other quite well, coming up through the Warriors program together.
Fourth down.
And it's going to be 4th down here, so they're going to keep the offense out there. And Harris, under the center, he's going to hand it off to Rivera, who tumbles forward for clearly a first down.
Nice aggressive call. I like going for it. You know me. I'd be going for it half the time. 50% of the time I go for it on 4th down.
So really lots of players that the next level in the U Sports should be eyeing. We're going to get the names of the All-Stars that are going to be selected by each team. We're going to have a look at who the teams believe are the guys that could go and excel at the next level. And that will be an exciting podcast to cover that.
Oh, yeah.
So here we go.
Last play in the first quarter.
And it's going to be a stretch. Kind of flicked it out there. And, oh! They must have blown the whistle. That was kind of a weird play there.
Forward progress. And I want to see the referees actually blow plays dead a little more. That is a dead play. A lot of times when you get these piles of legs and bodies, someone can trip over, someone get ankles and knees wrecked on those types of plays. When the forward momentum is done, blow the play dead. So
that was Darius McKenzie on that tackle. We've said his name. He's got his fingerprints all over this first quarter, Tyler.
Yeah.
And we are going to take a short break, and when we get back, we are going to have the second quarter for you.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Arturo's Restaurant.
And we are
located
back
at 94 Beechwood Avenue.
So here we go, second quarter, 6-0 for the Bel Air Norsemen. The second time they've seen each other. Harris out of the shotgun. He's going to look to pass. He passes on a little hook to Strang. He's looking to Strang a lot in this first half, Tyler.
Yeah, he's sort of like his Wes Welker. He's his who's the guy that he has right now that was out for the steroids that he's back playing for the Patriots now? Edelman, who I like even better than Welker. Edelman's a great player, former quarterback at Iowa State, by the way. That's Strang. He's one of those multifaceted players, great head for the game.
Yep.
You know, he's just a good player. He's Mr. Reliable.
So that's going to bring up third down.
You know what I like about Nolan Harris, I wanted to say? He really looks the part when he's back there. He's planting his foot. Both quarterbacks are looking very settled in the pocket. I'm very impressed how they're both playing today.
Well, Harris played under James Keenan at the Warriors, and now he's getting his time to shine. He's going to go deep, and almost a nice adjustment to catch the ball around the defender, but good defense too.
Great. I'm going to harp on this because we want to keep this game of football safe, and the quarterback got hit very hard. There was no flag thrown by the referee because the defender didn't take it to that next level that we're sort of used to in the tradition of football. This is what I've seen 3 plays tonight that could have led to a head injury, and none of them has resulted in it. I'm very proud when I see that type of stuff. Kids
Let's
are seeing it.
see if we can catch that, Tyler, just at the end of the play here. Yeah.
You know, he got hit hard, but it wasn't one of those plays where the defender knew that he could go for the ball and not maybe go for the hit on the quarterback, and that's what we want to see.
And he was just following through
exactly
the run, really, you know.
But the whole game,
he hadn't had time to really set up to make a hit.
I know that, but it's the whole concept of the problem is the game is about the ball, and we want to see defenders make a play on the ball.
I agree.
Rather than going for the hit more often.
I agree, and I have seen that with some other plays. I watched some of the Orleans Rasmussen games. We're going to get into that. Josh Backa playing safety back there. He had that big hit where he was ejected early on. I've seen him back off hits now, like he's learning.
That's good.
And I've also seen, like we said just here tonight, Jake Smith also backing off on some of those hits that back in the day would have been ear holes.
That's right.
So this is good. It's going to be a fake field goal, and he's going to cut it up, cut it outside. He gets away from a few tackles. It's not going to be enough, but you know, I'm surprised by that call, to be honest, with a kicker like Strang.
There's a couple things I want you to notice. The trees in the background, you see what they're doing? They're howling. The wind is really, it's about 29 kilometers an hour, they were saying down at the Red Black Stadium tonight. So I know that the wind is howling. I think it's a good call by the coaches. What I would have liked to see, though, is an offensive play rather than a fake punt. Because I think
you give yourself a better chance.
The Giants are telling themselves, like, okay, well, these guys are going to have a trouble making this, so I would like to see an offensive play there.
Try to sneak one in on them.
Yeah.
Anyways, it is going to be Giants ball here. Down 6-0 with still a full quarter left here in the second. One back, ace back in the field. Richard Graham, kind of that wing back, is going to motion to his right. And they're going to hand it off. And that's Lucien up the middle again.
No,
Rojan.
Yes.
And he's going to pick up another, I'd say that's probably going to be a first down. They're moving the sticks.
That's another great run. And like I said, stay focused on the running game. I want to see some play action. I haven't seen any of that yet, but let's keep it going.
And I'm surprised about this defensive line and the way that the Giants have been able to move them around. Number 99, Ibrahim Hajjah, has been a standout. He had 2 block punts against Myers last week, and or 2 weeks ago, rather. And the GGs have shown and expressed much interest in this big defensive lineman. But tonight, it's the Giants O-line that's the story.
Nice run there. Rojan Wilson, another nice play. I think he has 5 carries for probably 40 yards at this point. It's going to be 2nd down and 6 after that nice run by Rojan Wilson. I'm really surprised by the throwing that these quarterbacks have done because the wind is really howling out there when you look at the trees.
Yeah, it must have picked up because when we were doing setup here, I didn't really notice it wasn't a factor, I thought. And this is LaFleur out of the shotgun. He's going to throw the out to Graham, and Graham is wrapped up immediately, but he refuses to go down. This is a tough character. He's really an all-round football player. He's best known as being a linebacker or a stand-up D lineman off the edge. But he can show that he can play football on the offensive side of the ball, and that's what the Giants have asked him to do at this point in the season.
Listen, at this point in someone's career, you don't know what position you're going to be. You know, you could go to university and there could be a need for something, or go to the next level and be like, yo, they need a running back or a tight end. So it's good to develop the skills. I like seeing them on both sides of football.
That often does happen. So the Giants are going to have a 3rd down and 8. And they're going to look to pass. Immediate pressure in LaFleur's face, and he's going to take it off. He's done it before. He's going to be met with contact, but he fights close to the first down, but I don't think he's got it.
It's going to be
they gave him a good spot. That's Wilcox on the spot.
You know, and that's Donnie on the spot right there. You know, that was good right there. That's a pretty favorable spot. I don't know, but they gave him the first down. So I want to see Alex LaFleur run the football a little more. We talked about his athleticism.
Well, you know what, though? I don't think he's been shy to run it all season. He's converted lots of first downs through his legs. But what I don't like to see is the Giants get into this mode where that's all they have. He doesn't see the field downfield, and he immediately runs first. So it's nice to see that he's looking to pass in the pocket tonight.
Yeah.
They're going to hand it off. Wilson.
Nice play.
eludes the first tackle in the backfield and does a good job to pick up about 6. Now, he's got to get out of there. The Giants have to get out of those piles and get out of there, get back to the huddle. That's when you see some of the flags flying, is when the Giants hang around after the play a little bit.
And we've been so far so good in this game when it comes to penalties. I think on offside, and that's about it so far. So a very well-played game so far by both teams, even though we had a couple turnovers by the Giants.
So it's going to be a 2nd and 4 towards midfield. They're going to stick to the run, trying a stretch off the right side, but that's not going to go anywhere. They're going to lose a couple yards on that one and set up a 3rd and 5 or 6.
Yeah, they're not. I don't know if they're going to give him even forward progress. It actually might be more of a 4-yard loss there. This is the type of thing, you know, the Red Blacks running back Powell, what he seems to do is he doesn't seem to waste energy stretching out. He'd rather just look and cut back and maybe get back, because as much as you want to see your guys try, that's a 4-yard loss on 2nd and 4 after a good first down play. So maybe just kill the play earlier.
So it's a passing play for the Giants. He's going to go to his right side. He's going to throw his 3rd interception of the evening here early on in the first half. That's, I believe, number 30.
Muhammad Abdul Qadir. Another play, right read. Oh, and there's our first late flag. And we just gave them props, and they just let us down once again. As an announcer, you always feel like, do you actually have a karmic connection to these people on the field?
Let's look at what route they're running there on the top side. They had 2 receivers up there, 5-pack. He's just going to run like a really deep curl. And
bad job by the receiver coming back to the football there. You want to see your receiver plant and come back to the football and stay in front of that defender. You can't blame that one on the quarterback at all. He threw it to the right spot. The receiver ran the perfect distance, just needs to come back to the football right there. Now the penalty looks like it was on
the Norseman.
So
but is that after the interception? Yes, because they have their offense
after
out
the
there.
Interception. Yeah.
So it'll be the Norsemen. They get their 3rd turnover of the evening.
And look at the scoreboard.
It's still only 6-0, but so that shows that the Giants' defense have been able to keep them in the game. But the Giants are going to have to figure out a way to stop turning the ball over, and once again, obviously keeping the penalties to a minimum. Harris bobbles the snap, decides to tuck it. Good decision by him.
Great decision.
And runs, just takes off with it himself, and that could have been a lot worse if he had let that go and tried to pass it off to his receiver to his right.
And that is something if you're a scout or if you're a coach at the next level and you're watching game film and you watch the whole game on every snap a quarterback takes, that's as valuable as anyone he will, because that shows that the quarterback can make a decision on the fly that isn't in the playbook, and he made it a 2nd and 5 now after a good decision.
You said it, 2nd and 5. They've got 2 backs in the backfield here. They're not going to use them. They're going to come up to block and give Harris enough time to complete one over the middle to Josh Strang, who's got a first down for the Norsemen up towards the 36-yard line.
That was an outstanding play by the quarterback for the Norsemen. He stood in the pocket. He felt the pressure, and you saw him sort of get a little bit of happy feet. He refocused, reset his feet, and threw a beautiful throw across the middle to Josh Strang, who, that connection, as he completed every pass to Josh Strang.
Well, he's looked to him a lot. If we see the replay here quickly before we go to live action, like he said, surveys, gets in trouble early, and then completes it over the middle. Back to live action. It's going to be a run that's sniffed out in the backfield and tackled for a 3-yard loss.
I think number 42 for the Giants there. Trying to find it on the sheet is like a game of bingo. I don't see a 42. Oh, there we are.
Oh, yep. Wilkinson.
Jared Wilkinson. Good play there, brother. Also, these guys wear their jerseys tucked in, so the numbers are all scrunched. So if we get someone's name wrong, we apologize, guys. We're doing our best here with the names.
So I'm curious to see how Taylor Sherlock, who's playing right in the middle, interior of the D-line for the Giants, to see him battling away. It's going to be a play action, thrown out to Strang, guess who? And he just buries his head down trying to get as many yards as he can.
3rd and 9 now. That's a good 7-yard gain there by Strang.
But they are mixing it up on offense here.
Well, what I like about what the Norsemen are doing is just like I said, even though they haven't run the ball as well as the Giants have, they still established their play action better than the Giants have. Doesn't really make much logical sense, but the defense is over pursuing on that handoff. What they should be doing is focusing on the receivers because they're getting killed by Josh Strang right now.
Well, Strang's lining up at the third receiver on the strong side up top of your screen.
Take a deep shot here to
They've
Strang.
got an ISO down here by number 80. He's going to look over to 83, and it's thrown a little bit behind him.
Yep.
But that falls incomplete and sets up a fourth down. Now, we know we're kind of in the same spot of the field here again for a field goal. They faked it once, so I doubt that they're going to go for that again. Are they going to just keep they're not going to keep the offense out there.
Well, is this one of those opportunities where you want to maybe get Strang to like I talk about,
Cough and kick it?
A practice. Never know in the semifinals or the quarterfinals, if you're in a position where you might need to get a good punt out there, you get execute one here. You pin him down on the 1 or 2. That's going to be tough for the Giants to dig out of that hole.
Well, the 3-minute warning goes off here, and they are in the punt formation. That's Josh Strang, who's going to punt also. He's taking both the kicking and punting responsibilities, and it's going to be blocked. And a big play for the Giants to save them some field position. They're going to be working with a short field. Richard Graham getting involved there, and a big play for the Giants at a critical point in the game here, I'd say.
That's a huge play right there, and a punt is supposed to be the safe play, and when you blow a play on special teams, which I talked about earlier in the football game, you can swing field position, and we went from a coffin corner punt, which could be inside the 10, all the way to midfield. Richard
Graham getting in there, didn't even have to jump.
They overloaded the side closest to us here. And they were
smart because they know that they were punting from the weak side. They were going to try to cough and kick it away, get the contain in behind them, and Graham somehow gets through, blocks the punt, gives him his team position near the 50-yard line here.
Great call, Jesse. That's a great coaching job by the Giants to blitz on the side that you think they're going to punt to. That's a great thinking.
So is this a change in quarterback? That's Oliver Tetro that's taking the handoff there, and then a flag comes in here. I don't know if that's a hold. What do you think about this? Putting Oliver Tetro in at quarterback. Now we do know his history at quarterback. He's played pretty much all the way through his career in NCAFA as a quarterback and a linebacker. He's a dual threat player, but he did win an A Cup as a quarterback with the Raiders at the bantam level, and his teammates say this guy's just a natural born leader.
Well, he was one of the best quarterbacks that year. He's one, and I remember in the championship game how well he played. But what's interesting is just that when I watched the last interception by the number 12, I didn't really see that being his fault. That looked more of like a lack of effort on the receiver to get back to the football. But 3 interceptions, the game doesn't really mean anything in the standings, so maybe give the other guy some reps.
Tetro back to pass. He's going to run it himself. He's got a little bit of room. He goes up the middle. You know he's going to be able to put his head down when he wants, and he rumbles his way on a quarterback keep for a first down.
And I don't want to keep kicking this horse that's dead on the ground right now, but I think that what LaFleur could have done when he was in at quarterback is maybe do something like that. Drop back to pass, run up the middle, and just get some momentum for your team. Sometimes you got to do what works to get some momentum, and then you can execute a little bit better. Good job by Tetro there.
So 1st and 10, this is really the first time the Giants have been in Norseman territory on offense, and Tetro's going to throw it, but nearly intercepted.
Almost by Lacusa again.
That was a ball that was behind his receiver.
Yep.
It looked like maybe a 12-yard in that was being run.
That is one of those things. He tried to squeeze it into the window before the receiver was coming into the window after. So what you really want to see there is that's just he's not practicing the reps in practice, I'm sure, at quarterback. So a little bit of rust there, but still a nice laser throw.
Well, I might be a little concerned about the way this quarterback switch right now. Not that Ollie couldn't do it. We know that he can do it, but I think just it might be a little bit of a knee-jerk reaction by the coaching staff to make the switch. I don't think he was playing that bad. I think one ball that was intercepted was a big tip.
Yep.
The other one, like you said, the receiver didn't give him much help coming back to the ball.
Yep.
And really there was one interception that I think was a bad one.
That was a bad one. But maybe he has a little bit of an ankle, maybe a little bit of hamstring.
And maybe we'll see him again.
Maybe hit his hand. Maybe we'll see him again. That's a good play, by the way, on defense. Number 47, Honor Charlie, stopping him on defense. That's good.
So it's 3rd and long. One back, and it looks like, oh, that might have been a procedure, but they're not going to call it. He goes over the middle.
Oh!
And again, we've seen this all season. Just a little bit out of the reach of number 11, Matt Gravel.
And we know the skills that Matt Gravel has as a football player, coming through the Mustangs, always being one of the best players in his team. Great athleticism. Just as a quarterback, throw it up in the air just a little bit more. Give your receiver a chance, especially when you're putting it deep.
Well, when they were playing the Hornets, they missed him early in the first quarter on their first possession. Literally maybe like an inch out of his hands, and that would have been a score. They missed him again later in the 3rd quarter. He must be frustrated because this guy wants the ball, and he can stream down the seam like he does and get open.
He's one of those guys that he is a smaller guy, Matt Gravel. He never really fully grew into what you maybe hoped he could have when he was a young player, but his hands, the way he catches a football, he's such a natural catcher. And as a quarterback, you want to give your ball catchers a good chance to catch the ball. And sometimes you don't need to put so much juice on a ball, let the guy get under it and make a nice catch.
So it's a timeout. The coaches are on the field here just sorting it out. We got a minute 40 left, 6-0 in the half with minute 45 left. So the Giants with the ball, it's a 4th down. What do you do as a coach here if you're in the situation of the Giants?
Well, I can't see any flags, but you really want to try to find a way to get a good field goal here. You want to try to find a way to put some points on the ball, make it a 1-possession game through a field goal. If they have the wind, they have a good chance to maybe kick this through. It might only be a 40-yard field goal, and at this age, you know that these kids have the leg to do it. It's just a matter of executing and getting the good blocking.
Well, take it back to live action here.
So the kicker, for everyone knows, number 88, and that's Brighton Stewart. So we're going to see how he can do. He sort of has the kicking shoes, so maybe he could be a kicker exclusive.
He's got his October socks on. It's nearly blocked. It's going to be short, and that's a return opportunity for the Norsemen. Be careful.
And that's Lacusa with the football, I believe. No, that's...
and a big stiff arm, and he's up the sideline. Don't know if he'll have enough to... Oh, he breaks through. Oh, and he fumbles! Who's going to jump on it? I think it's Raiders' ball. We're going to let the referees sort that out, but what a comedy of plays on there.
I saw a flag. I don't know what the flag was thrown for. Looks like the Giants recovered the football, but we don't even know what's going on here. But that was a very exciting football play, so let's take a look at it here. I think that was recovered by the Giants. That was fumbled by Lacusa. I think number 30
Here's the replay here. Do you think he got a piece of it there?
I don't know. He wasn't able to really fully extend.
I think he saw him coming towards his feet. And
I agree.
Backed off a bit of the kick.
So good block there on the outside. No flag there.
Lacusa, look at the stiff arm.
Boom,
get down, son. Running up. He's a natural runner, you know.
Oh, he's just a natural football player. The family, the bloodline.
Yeah, the bloodline, and as a lion, a proud lion, all the way through. But, just would like to have that one back. He's looking around for it. Right here I see... it looks like the Giants might have got on it.
I hope they don't call a penalty for like a spearing
pile on or something.
No, like I think so I don't know.
Geez, we're remaining 6-0 here.
I think the Giants are going to. No, it looks like the offense for the Norsemen is out and the defense for the Giants is out. So we don't know exactly what was called, but the bottom line is Norsemen have the football after that great return by Lacusa, and here we go.
Okay, so with a minute 26, the Norsemen have an opportunity to extend their lead if they're smart with the ball. We've seen quite a few turnovers here early in this game by the Giants. And Harris with a fake toss right, counter to number 2, who's doesn't get much, maybe 2 yards.
Ombotimbe, again, ball in his hands, give him a chance, make a play. I like the little bit of deception there. You think they might come out passing, maybe catch the defense sleeping, get a seal on the outside, get your best athlete outside. So who knows what can be done with it, but I like the play call. Give him something to think about in the second half.
So here we go, minute 7 left. 3 receivers to the strong side. ISO up top. And Harris going to look for the hook. Oh, and maybe one that he should have had. It's going to fall incomplete. It's going to set up 3rd down.
Francis Teo didn't get an opportunity to grab that. Had a great chance. You'd like to see him pull out the diamond. Put your hands up, get it out in front of you. Don't let it get inside to your body.
Try to cradle it there.
It's not a bad thing, but there are situations when sometimes if you know you're going down, seal it with your hands.
If he catches it, we're talking about how good of a catch it is.
It is.
If he drops it, he said you should probably make the triangle with your hands.
Maybe.
That's how she goes.
That's how she goes.
So 3rd down for the Norseman. Low snap, but he handles it. He pulls it down. He's going to go. He's going to be sacked. And a few people in on that.
Richard Graham
obviously in there, also 42. Jared Wilkinson.
I saw number 3 there, Darius McKenzie.
So, really, they bring the heat.
They bring the heat.
And they are going to hopefully get the ball back here.
They will get the ball back. 51 seconds left in the half. Again, special teams. Let's see what they can do. Josh Strang's a great kicker. They've already blocked 1 punt here. I might go for trying to set up a really good return here. Get your best players back here and see what they can do.
Samir Lucien back as one of the returners. They have 2.
Tevin Johnson, I believe, 26 is the other one.
Kind of a loose snap. They better get it off. They do, and it goes safely out of bounds towards the 49-yard line of the Norsemen.
You know, it's one of those,
the Giants, rather.
It's one of those things on special teams. I actually don't mind kicking it out of bounds. I always remember one of my coaches when I was playing growing up always said, why would I kick it to their best player? You're always going to put your best athlete back there. Why would I give the best athlete the ball an extra 5 to 8 times a game? But it's hard to have a good punter to punt it out of bounds. Yep. People think it's easy. It's not.
But they do have one. It's Josh Strang. He's been kicking since probably Mosquito. He's worked at the craft, and I'd say he's the best kicker in the Big Ten division from what I could see. And we've seen a faked field goal by the Norsemen that they don't convert. We've seen a blocked field goal try by the Giants.
Or at least pressured on it.
Pressured, maybe not blocked.
Blocked punt, though.
A blocked punt also by Richard Graham. And we've seen 3 turnovers on the Giants' offensive throwing the ball. So they're going to go with Tetro still. They're going to hand off up the middle. That's Rajan. And he fights hard, doing his best to fill in the shoes for Baptiste.
So there was 51 seconds left, and all of a sudden now there's 22. I don't know what happened. I guess, no, but I mean.
Maybe they made an adjustment.
There we go. So
Clock's
I guess
running, though, 17 seconds.
They'll get probably one more play if they get this done quickly. I don't know if they have any timeouts. Probably going to be the last play of the half here, ladies and gentlemen.
So Tetro back. He's going to fire it. Oh, he gets out of trouble and just kind of throws it out to a receiver that wasn't ready for it. And are they going to say they got one more play? I don't see the flag up, so they're going to say
1 more second on the clock.
1 more second on the clock. They're going to give him another chance, give the Giants an opportunity to huddle up again.
Yep.
Figure out who's going deep and how they're doing it.
Yeah, I think from what I saw, it's the last play. So 1 more play. And that's one thing I always love about the CFL compared to the NFL. I think if the play is blown dead with time on the clock, there should just be 1 more play.
Yeah,
I don't like the fact that they look at the camera to see if the ball was snapped before the clock went to 0. I think that's ridiculous.
Okay, so here we go. Another shot for the Giants. A man runs off late off the field. They're going to let him go.
They should take a knee here. What are they doing?
And I don't know why they'd be punting. Nothing good can come from this. Now, fortunately, it goes out of bounds, but that I don't understand the rationale there. Is
there's a penalty. The they're declining the penalty. They're going to decline the penalty. Declined. That's going to be the end of the first half. And 6-0 is not a bad score for the Giants right now. They're only down by 6 after 3 turnovers. They've made some big plays on special teams. But that's what we talk about. It's not just offense that wins football games. 3 phases of football.
Absolutely. Well, this is a good game. You know, we've seen a lot of excitement. Not much scoring, but that's okay. I'm a defensive guy, and I like a good, hard-fought battle.
Well, maybe these guys aren't opening up their playbook because they know they're going to be playing next week. There is some of that could be potentially there. But what you like to see is it's an opportunity for people to get the football in their hands and make a play.
That's right.
And I've seen lots of different players make some big plays here, not just on offense. on special teams. Richard Graham, big plays on special teams. So good game so far.
Good game so far. We're going to be back after a short break at halftime. We're going to check out what the score of the Red Blacks game is, and we will have the second half of the Norsemen and Giants Big Ten action when we come back.
Just stay here with him.
We know there's a ton of talent in the city of Ottawa, and we don't feel that it gets its due.
Football, really, it's a microcosm of life in a lot of regards.
That drive that you talk about that a lot of athletes have, that's applicable to all aspects of life.
If we could reach 8 out of 10 kids, as opposed to just maybe 2 or 3 finding it on their own, then I think we're doing a good thing. And maybe more kids will go on to finding some other opportunities, and will gain some additional self-esteem along the way. And in some kids' lives, that could mean all the difference.
And number 89, Jesse Carter.
I'm from Ottawa. I grew up playing football in the National Capital Amateur Football Association for the Bell Warriors. And now I own House Edge Media and the House Edge Sports Network. NCAFA holds a really special place in my heart because it's the community that I grew up with. Spending 8 to 10 years playing football in NCAFA, it provided me an outlet outside of school, and it helped give me an identity that I was a football player.
Let's see your tackle or your pass.
Between the L's and the S. As Calvillo tries to go to work in the air, Woodcock's got it! And look out! Pat Woodcock could go! Only Malcolm Frank, he's not going to get there!
I started playing Canada Knights when I was 8 years old. I say all the time it was a crucial aspect of my football career, because I just think about what possibilities might have been had I had a negative experience early on, right? And I was really fortunate to have some really great coaches and men that made a positive impact on my life at a young age. It taught me the game of football and taught me to love it, and it led on to some great things.
The longest pass reception in Grey Cup history, 99 yards to Pat Woodcock, a former ball boy for the Ottawa Rough Riders.
I think football, because I seem to be good at it, it provided this place outside of school and outside of my family that I could go to, and it provided a lot of self-esteem, being good at something early in your life. So ever since this first practice here at Linwood Park, I was on this mission to be the best football player that I could be. It gave me the opportunity to go on and get a degree in university, and then eventually go on and get a master's in university. And what drives me now, after all these years coming back, is that we do have this this amazing infrastructure in place with one of the largest football organizations in all of Canada.
I had always said if I was to make it as a professional athlete, a goal would always be to play for the hometown team.
Big tackle there, 2nd and 6. Kennedy, play action. Here come the Bombers. Lets it go. Woodcock with the reception.
It was a special opportunity for me to be able to come back and play in front of the people who had supported me so much through my NCAFA years and through my university years. And also special to be able to give back to the community that gave so much to me, and just try to present to people what football can really mean beyond wins and losses and statistics and that kind of stuff, and that it develops young men and can provide them with a lot of valuable lessons that go far beyond the football field.
Knowing what this sport did for me, I don't think there's anything more important in my life than to be able to take those lessons and then give that back to the next generation, making it easier for them and accelerating their growth and their success. I don't think it stops at the end of practice or at the end of a game. I think that contact with the kids and opportunities that are available for them should span 12 months of the year, around the year, and sometimes that's as simple as providing them information about how other athletes and students have done it themselves and have been successful.
When it comes to a university, specifically an NCAA university or a CIS university, recruiting a student athlete, it goes much beyond what your game film shows. It goes much beyond what your 40 time is. You know, one of the first things they're going to ask about is your grades. Are you dependable? Can we count on you? Are you, do you do what you say you're going to do?
What I've noticed about, growing up, moving away from Ottawa and then deciding to come back and live here is that sports have defined my life, and now having a pro football team in the Red Blacks, being able to walk to the game down the streets, now we have that again in Ottawa, and there's so much pride for the people that are interested in the game of football here in Ottawa.
We know there's a ton of talent in the city of Ottawa, in football, but in a wide variety of sports, and we don't feel that it gets its due. And I think part of that is just because some of the athletes are not being presented the right information and not having the opportunity to really maximize their potential.
The true important thing out of this game is helping other kids find that level of passion and commitment in something in their life, and it may lead to a CFL career for them, or it may not, but they're gonna get something really valuable out of the experience. I'm excited for the future of this game in this country, and I'm honored to be a part of that development. And we're just getting started.
Okay, welcome back. I'm Jesse Card with Tyler McLaren. We're calling the Midget Big Ten matchup here Friday night at the Sportsplex between the North Gloucester Giants and the Bel Air Norsemen. And we want to talk a little bit about the journey this season for both teams. If we bring up a graphic here, we're just going to look and see what the Norsemen have done throughout their season. They start off against the Packers 39-0. They get a loss against the Midget Knights. They win against the Eagles and the Riders, and then lose to the Mustangs in Quebec, 17-0, getting shut out. That was a little bit of a disappointment and dropped them in the power rankings when that occurred. They get another win, and then they lose to the Giants last week. So this is a statement game, I believe, for this team. On the other hand, if you look at the Giants, they have a similar record, losing to the Cougars in a nail-biter their first game.
Yep.
Losing to Canada, then winning 3 in a row, really turning their season around, and then losing to the Hornets by that 28-0 game, and then winning last week against the Norsemen. So This is a really big game here.
Again, you want to have momentum going into the playoffs. You want to feel good about your team. Unfortunately for the Giants, they sort of took a step back offensively. They pulled Lafleur from the game after 3 interceptions, but at the end of the day, what you want to see is these guys just executing well, and on defense they're doing that.
They've been jawing in the power rankings between 5 and 6, the spot. This is a true grudge match, and here we are. We're back on the kickoff, and it's a short kick, and I believe the Norsemen will have it back. So they're going aggressive to start, and that's Tyler Gloucester that has his fingerprints on that turnover.
Well, don't forget, these guys, all they needed to do was just punch it out of bounds. They don't need to recover it. This isn't the CFL. This isn't the NFL where you need to actually recover the ball. You're actually allowed to just tap it out of bounds. Last person to touch it is the one who's going to get the ball. So good play by the Norsemen to do that. You might as well take advantage of those possessions when you can.
All right, so it's going to be 1st and 10 at midfield for the Norsemen. Well, I wonder if we're going to see a new quarterback. They've been switching back and forth between Harris and his counterpart, number 7. They are going to bring him out. That's Bryce Russell getting the second half start here. A little bit of a different style quarterback. He's a dual threat. He can use his legs, whereas Harris is more of a pocket passer. He's going to hand it off to Rivera, who puts his head down and just chugs forward for about 5 yards, and a late flag comes up.
Holding. There's a holding call on the Norseman. That seemed like a late holding call. It seemed like it was getting pushed, but I mean,
Well, they're cleaning it up, the refs are.
It's going to keep coming back.
But a great run.
So 10 yards back from where the play started. That's a big penalty there for the Norsemen. Not the way you want to start the second half.
But you'd want to be going back to that run. I mean, he's literally carrying the entire defense on his back.
But there was a holding call there, so maybe that's why the play broke out.
I don't think so, man.
Yeah, I didn't see it myself, but that was Donnie back there. I was giving the benefit of the doubt.
6-0 for the Norsemen still. They've gotten 3 turnovers here, and including the punt. They had a punt block, but that's Strang who's going to get the ball. He's going to turn the corner as he keeps his feet in bounds. Finally, they call him out of bounds, but not before a huge gain. And that's Russell who gets the completion.
Great throw. Led him perfectly. Allowed him to run into the football, catch that football at full speed. And when the receiver catches the ball at full speed on the outside, if the defenders are not in the perfect position, he's going to be able to get around the edge like he did. And that's a 30-yard gain right there.
That's right, Tyler. You get kind of caught flat-footed as a defender,
that's
and
right.
It's impossible to make up the speed to hit the right angle. But 1st and 10, a new fresh set of downs for the Norsemen, and Bryce Russell's got his team moving. He's going to hand it off to Steven Rivera. Goes off the left side of the tackle, but not much doing there.
This is 4-down football, though. That's a 3-yard gain. That's going to make it 2nd and 7. That's a good run, and that's what people need to understand when you're playing 4-down football is it's very important that you take advantage of the one cut and go, because in the CFL, when it's 3 downs, you're able to take a little more risk, because if you're passing more often, 2nd and 12 isn't a big thing. It was only a 1-yard gain, but it wasn't a loss, so it's 2nd and 9.
So 2nd and 9, like you said, Tyler.
I'd like to see a deep shot coming. No one's throwing the ball deep. It's a little windy, but I'd take a chance right here.
Russell out of the shotgun, 2 backs. He's going to pass. He's going deep, like you said, and he's got Strang, who makes the adjustment. He's got a completion, spins out of the tackle, and he's going to go in for the score. Josh Strang. Touchdown. He's doing it all for the Norsemen here.
The defense has tightened up. They know the wind is out there. The new quarterback is in. As a defender, as an offense, you know the defenders are going to be a little closer to the line of scrimmage. I felt it was a great opportunity to go deep there. First time they went deep all game, and it worked out.
So the Norsemen line up for the extra point. And guess who's going to kick it? That's quarterback Bryce Russell holding for Josh Strang. We're going to have a look at that replay.
Yeah.
But they strike early in the 3rd quarter. And they're going to put that one up.
That is good.
Let's have a look at that replay, Tyler.
So I see a lot of defenders in the camera. Everyone's in close.
This is Josh in the 3rd receiver spot there, run in the corner. And this
it was underthrown.
He just spins out of it.
The ball was underthrown.
But it was thrown to the right side
That's
of
right.
him.
That's right. But that's a great play. And as an offense, even if those plays aren't successful every time, you want to stretch the defense vertically and you want to stretch the defense horizontally. And right there, when you complete big passes like that, that keeps the defense stretched horizontally, vertically, so you can try to find some lanes heading up the field.
So 13-0 lead for the Bel Air Norsemen, and they're hoping that they can pull this win out. And this is going to set up the 3rd match in 3 weeks if they are successful tonight, that these two teams are going to have to face each other 3 weeks in a row. And some of those individual matchups, like you see, start to fester. And this game has the potential, if the Norsemen can keep scoring, to maybe turn a little dirty.
Watching outside. And they're
going to kick deep. That's going to be handled
Rojan
by Wilkinson. And he's got a little bit of room here. He's going to cut back up towards field and be brought down around the 45-yard line.
Rojan Wilson with a great play right there. They got to keep feeding him the ball. I'd like to see them do a little screen pass, get him the ball there. And I think Rojan Wilson and the quarterback, Tetro, for the Giants, both played at the Raiders. So they got a good relationship. So I'd like to see a little bit of connection there.
It's tough, though, because Oliver Tetro hasn't played a whole lot of quarterback in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And for him to come in cold, we haven't really seen him all season play quarterback or take snaps. So I think this is going to really limit what the Giants can do on offense.
Is
and
that Richard Graham in that court? No.
Richard Graham at the running back there, fullback. 1st and 10, Giants. They're going to give it to Richard, and he is tackled by Gloucester in the backfield. And you wonder, the Giants seem to, when they stutter on offense, things can go wrong quickly for them.
It sort of gets what happens is they sort of let one negative play affect the next play, and it's the sort of that snowball effect which you want to avoid on offense. I talk about it all the time. You want to make sure that if a bad play is going to happen, make it as good as possible.
2nd and 14 for the Giants. Tetra out of the shotgun. He's looking to pass, and he's under extreme pressure. He's going to be wrapped up and sacked in the backfield by a relentless Norseman defense. That's number 1.
Ethan Williams is number 1 for the Norsemen. That's, again, I
can't see the other number there, but 52, I believe.
No 52 there.
It wasn't 52.
But great play by the Norseman defense. Pressure Tetro. He was back there looking for a receiver, and the pocket collapsed on him. And we got 3rd and Texas.
So Tetro back again, looking to pass. He's going to just tuck the ball and run. Put his shoulder down. Do his best to try to make up those yards that they lost on those 2 sacks, but not get quite there.
It's going to be 4th and 4. I think this is a great opportunity to try to execute a really good punt. I would try to get it low, bounce it towards the sideline and the end zone on the wide side of the football field, and try to get as much field position as you possibly can after that sort of 25-yard play right there by Tetro.
If we look at that sack, they're just bringing the pressure. They're blitzing the A gap there.
Good timing by that linebacker coming in, eh?
Gets through. One thing that I would say is good that he held onto the ball.
Yeah. He's a big,
sometimes you can lose that ball when you're trying to fight through the rush there.
They're going for it.
They're going to keep the offense out there on 4th down, and it's going to be an offside by the offense.
Number 8 was off by 5 yards.
So unfortunate. It's going to push them back further.
That's quarterback's brother, Simon Tetro, who was a little early there, but it's all right. 5 yards. They're going to keep going for it. They're down 13-0. They got a new quarterback in there. They want to get these repetitions. It's all good. Oh, there's got a little bit of conference here by the referees, though.
So we want to mention the big game. There's a wild card matchup in the Big Ten tomorrow night. We're going to be at Millennium, where the Orleans Rasmen make an appearance in the Big Ten Conference for the first time. They're going to be facing off against the LaSalle Warriors, who are coming off a win against Myers Riders and knocking them right out of the playoffs. This is a big game for this Orleans organization and this Rasmen team, which are 9-1 at the moment.
This is the design, right? We wanted to make sure that the best amount of teams could be playing against the best competition level that they could face. And with the Big Ten being 5 teams from Ottawa, 5 teams from Montreal, and the QMFL being 7 teams mixed from both cities as well, the best team from the QMFL is going to play in the Big Ten playoffs. What a day. It's going to be fantastic. And I'd love to see that for Ron Raymond.
So the winner of that game will face the number 1 ranked Sun Youth Hornet in Montreal. And here we go to live action. The Giants punt. They get a good one off. It bounces, and it will not – the Norseman won't have an opportunity to return that. It goes out of bounds at about the 23-yard line.
And that's why, like I said, you want to aim for the wide side of the field and hopefully get a bounce going forward, because you want to try to switch the field position. So that's a 20-yard run on 3rd down and then a 50-yard punt. So that's a change of 70 yards on field position, and that's all you can do on special teams.
So would you say that this is maybe the biggest series on defense for the Giants of the game?
Well, definitely.
To this point?
If you give up points on this drive, considering how you've been unable to get any points so far this game, you'd have to think that that's not a good thing. But a game can switch on a turnover or a big play on special teams. What I'd like to see is I think the Norsemen have an opportunity to put this game away right here.
I do too. It's a handoff up the middle to Steven Rivera. And Rivera pounds his way up to about the 36-yard line.
That's a great run right there.
Going to pick up a 1st down for the Norsemen.
That's a great run. That's great blocking by the Norseman offensive line. That's just a great play all around.
So on another first down here, they've hit on the big corner to Strang. They've hit him underneath quite a bit. And obviously, don't forget about the ability for Bryce Russell to be able to take off up the middle, as we've seen him do in this season, where he's called his own number on a quarterback draw. He's going to toss it to his right side out to Strang, who makes a one-handed catch, and he's going to get about 5 yards on that. But a good pass, decisive, gets it out of the quarterback's hands as quick as possible, and it's kind of like a big toss, but a little bit of a head start.
You know, that's exactly what it does. You want to get it outside of the pressure from the box. So you want to make sure that if they're blitzing or if they're sending pressure, you want to send the ball to that side, give your running back, give your receiver a head start with speed, get to the outside. Another great play by number 6. Best player on the field so far for the Norsemen tonight.
He has his fingerprints all over this game, Tyler.
Josh Strang, what a player.
I picked up that line watching Monday Night Football.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Jason Witten?
I think it was the other dude.
I don't know his name.
No, it probably was Witten. Bryce throws left on a dangerous pass, but going to number 6 again, but just a little bit overthrown.
You know, and people that don't play quarterback think that's a dangerous pass, but it's all about where you put it. What you want to make sure you do is you at least put it in a spot where only your receiver can do it, because you know the defender can't get there unless he's on the other side of the receiver. That was a great throw. That was just it's in the wind.
I think if he had completed, he would have been wrapped up right away and it would have been a yard short of the first down, but it would have been 3rd and 1.
I think the defender went for the ball and missed it. I think he would have actually caught that and ran for like a 15-yard gain.
So here we are. It's 3rd down and 5 for the Norsemen. 2:50 left in the 3rd quarter. And there it is. The quarterback keep, like we said. They do a good job on the Giants of containing that and not letting it go for any more than 2 yards.
But you know what, though? Because as a defender, you were saying that you have said that Bryce Russell's a dual threat quarterback. They knew that as a defender as well. And on 3rd and 5, what's the most obvious call that a running quarterback can do? That's a quarterback draw. Yep. So what you want to see is as an offense, in this game, it's not a playoff game, you want to go with your standard play. But good job by the defense to force a punt.
That was Sherlock in on the tackle, and he kind of got up a little bit gingerly, but it's 4th down in a punting situation. They're going to punt it. They get it off, and it's a good one. It's going to take a funky bounce and then into the arms of the Giants returner, number 20, and he's high tackled, but no call.
Number 26, I believe, is the returner, like we talked about earlier. That's Tevin Johnson.
Tackled by Benjamin Nesbitt, and he kind of just caught him.
Yeah. And, you know, again, to reiterate, good play by both guys. No one led with the helmet. The play was stopped right there. But, again, special teams plays, that is another 20 yards because it was a good executed play. No penalties by the return team. Fantastic job on special teams tonight by all the teams, even though the punts maybe isn't good for the team that gave up the punt. But I'll give credit to the defense.
Still 13-0. Giants have yet to score any points. They went for a field goal in the 2nd quarter, and it was not made. It was short. They had good pressure. We don't know if it was tipped, but nonetheless it was returned. And now here they are on 1st and 10. They're going to toss left, and he's immediately wrapped up. That's Tyler Gloucester and Jake Papalia.
Tyler Gloucester is a beast. You know, he's one of those players, again, he's a lot faster than you think he's going to be. He's a lot quicker than he looks.
He's a ball hawk.
He's a ball hawk. He's around the ball. You know who he reminds me of? Manny Furtado. Okay. The way he plays. He sort of got an anger. He's got a swag to him.
He definitely has a lot of swagger now. That swagger sometimes gets him in trouble. We saw a pretty elaborate handshake after a pick a couple of weeks ago.
I think Manny had some pretty elaborate handshakes as well.
So here we go. 2nd and 15 for the Giants. Tetro in quarterback. Procedure on the offense.
I'd say that's the offside on the defense right there. I thought the defense moved and the tackle reacted to the defender threatening him. So I would say that's offside.
Did he get back, though?
In the new rules, different from when we played, Jesse, if the defender crosses the ball and the offensive player moves, that's actually considered offside. When we played, if the defender got back, let's see what they call it.
Is it still that way in the NFL?
It is that way in the NFL, and we have an offside on the defense.
We watch so much NFL, sometimes we just get the calls wrong up here.
Yeah, we sometimes do, but
I've talked to the referees before, and they always say, these coaches are yelling at us about the NFL rules, and they have to deal with that a lot.
But that's part of the deal because we watch a lot of NFL up here in Canada.
Nonetheless, it's 2nd and 11 for the Giants, and with only 30 seconds left in the third quarter, time is definitely becoming an issue for the Giants. They're going to hand off to the left, and wow, Rojan Wilson.
No, ball caused the fumble. That's okay.
He's going to run for the first down. They're going to say that he was down before the ball came out, and I think that's a good call.
Yep, ground can't cause a fumble. That is a rule in all football leagues across the world.
But a nice little change of pace there.
You know, he did an interesting thing there. When he knew the contact was coming, not only did he just put his head down, because what happens sometimes when a running back puts his head down, he's running too fast, they just fall over no matter if the defender's there. He sort of kept his head up a little bit, and he was able to get his balance and get another 6 yards. Great play. He's a great player.
So 1st and 10, he's taking the majority of the that's procedure there on number 6, the right tackle.
And that's going to be this is going to be the last play coming up of the third quarter, and that was on Kyle Botello.
So we're going to just let the referees clean this up. I'm going to see if we're going to end the quarter or...
Quarter can't out on a penalty.
Right.
So it's going to be back 5 yards. It's going to be 1st and 15. Last play of the quarter. Again, what I would like to see here by the offense is it's sort of the momentum has sort of stopped in the game. You can't expect all 12 players to be totally focused on the defense. What I would do right here, look like you're going to run a gimme dive, play action, send your fastest player, Matt Gravel, on the outside, take a chance right at the end of the quarter. I think it's one of those things you can catch the defense sleeping. Let's see if they I can telepathically tell them, oh, the defense looks focused here, so you might not get a good chance.
Well, it's 1st and 10, last play of the third quarter, and Tetro hands it off up the middle to Rojan, who hurdles, or at least attempts to hurdle, the safety, and a flag. I think that's Jake Smith kind of pulling at his leg after the play.
They're going to call it on Tetro. They're going to call it on the running back.
I don't think so. I think
he hit him in the helmet, it looks like.
Let's have a look
here.
No,
they're going to call on the defense. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, I think you can see that Smith didn't let go of his leg there. But
and they tell running backs, don't jump over people.
An athletic play. Okay, so here we go. Let's have a look at that one.
Great run again.
So right here, that's the penalty.
Yeah.
So
good job by Donnie Wilcox to call out the first defender. I like that. So good job, and that's going to be up 15.
Remember, we're going to be back with the HESN Live podcast. We're going to be going all year. We decided to, like every year, we try to keep it going, but there is so much going on in football in Ottawa and in Canada, and we're going to make a concerted effort to make sure that we are covering the issues that matter most to you on our weekly live podcast show. We'd love to hear from you. Please share and support, and we're going to have a way for you guys to show your support through a Patreon account coming up shortly. More information to come about that later. We've got 1st and 10 for the Giants and another penalty.
Another penalty. Again, at the first play of a quarter, as a quarterback, you need to make sure that your team is focused. What can happen is, again, last play of a quarter, first play of a quarter, people can just have a mental lapse, and the entire Giants offense took a big dump right there.
Well, the referees...
It's been a clean game, though. No major penalties. Yeah. No, nothing chippy.
Oh, we got Cliff there. Back judge. And Tetro on 1st and long. He's going to scramble, reverse his field, and he's going to be wrapped up by about 5 or 6 players.
Did anyone blow the whistle?
Well, I'm not hearing the whistle up here much. There's been a few instances there where I haven't heard it. It looked like it was maybe a weak whistle blow.
It can happen when the wind is windy. The sound waves, the sound just gets redirected.
I'm not making it up here.
Well, I heard of that one.
Me too.
Okay, that's good.
So, anyways, the Giants are now got the ball on the 32-yard line. It's 2nd and long. They're in a passing situation. He's going to drop back. That's Tetro over the middle, nearly picked off. as that's number 56, the linebacker, Jeremy Perry, who maybe would like to have squeezed that one. I always say to the defenders that I coach, you work hard, you put yourself in the right position, and then all you got to do is make the play.
That's right.
Get your name in the paper and get the chicks. That's what they used to say.
That's it.
You know, don't rob yourself of finishing the play. You did 99% of it right. Catch the ball.
You did the hard part right. You can catch a football in your sleep.
So on third down, the Giants' offense struggling. They're going to run the reverse jet sweep by Graval, and Graval is going to be met over on the far side of the field. I can't quite see the number.
It's going to be no gain.
Number 4.
Gain. Yeah, no gain. Well, you know, I like the thought process.
Josie Lacusa on the tackle.
So, like, I like the thought process by the Giants trying to create some sort of gadget play, something different, but they need to put the football down the field. You don't really have enough time to be running the football on 3 down.
But I think the issue is that
no quarterback.
They can't do it. They can't do it.
But send your quarterback on a rollout and like give them an opportunity to make an easy throw instead of throwing 17-yard post across the middle. So here we have 4th and 15.
And a punt by the Giants. Maybe a net of 25 yards and it goes out of bounds.
I don't even think that. I think maybe a 15-yard net because he was punting from 15 yards back from the line of scrimmage. So, again, one of those things at this point in the game, I don't really see the advantage for punting right there. But when it's 4th and 15, what else are you going to do?
Yeah, I think the Giants are just a little bit. I've seen this kind of manifest in other games where I don't think they have any direction. I don't think they know what to do next.
Yeah.
And it results in maybe some indecision in times when maybe they need to go for it and they don't.
Yep.
Nonetheless, the Norsemen take over, and Bryce Russell's going to have another crack at it here on offense. I don't know if the Norsemen are going to do this half and half switch at quarterback in the playoffs, or if they're going to stick with one quarterback. Russell throws a ball all the way out to Nick Walter, and Walter catches it and gets about 8 yards. But that can also be a dangerous throw. That's maybe a 45-yard throw, or
that's a long throw,
35-yard throw.
When you throw that ball, it needs to be thrown early. That's sort of the big thing with that throw. You want to make sure you throw it before the receivers even made the cut. You got to know
that's a CFL throw.
That's a CFL throw. That's a hard throw, especially in a windy night like this. We don't know, the wind's swirling.
Well, they pick up about 5.5 rather than 8 is what I've previously mentioned, but they're going to have second down. They're going to hand off to Steven Rivera.
Yes, pick it up.
And Rivera.
42 made the stop there on defense. Number 42, that is Jared Wilkinson. Big play right there. Stops Rivera. No gain, maybe a yard or two.
Want to mention Brandon Graff, who's playing center. He's started in every game this season. He has provided a lot of stability for those 2 young quarterbacks, and definitely getting his O-line set and focused before each play. He's done a great job, come through the Warriors program from the time of Tyke.
Yep.
And he is getting the ball safely into the quarterback's hands here. And on 3rd and 4, it's going to be Russell to pass. He's going to use his legs. He's going to run around. He's got some room as he breaks up towards center field, and he's still going. Is he going to be caught? He is just tucked down, but there's a flag in the backfield, and that might be holding.
It is holding.
And that's unfortunate because another big run by Bryce Russell that's going to be called back due to holding.
Listen, the pressure was on. They were coming hard. He escaped, but when the pressure comes, oftentimes the offensive lineman or the running back has to extend, and unfortunately that's a biggest play of the night for either team called back on a holding call. Let's see, it might not even have happened.
Well, look at this one in real time. Looks like pressure off the left side of the quarterback, and he is just going to – he has good timing when he takes off with it. Can't really see any holding from that perspective.
I think they're going to call it on number 10, who was trying to break off his block early and one of the offensive players just held him enough to allow the quarterback to scoot through the hole. But
well, time's ticking down on the Giants' night. 6:39 left in the fourth quarter. 13-0. The Norsemen are up, looking to revenge their loss last week against the very same North Gloucester Giants. Out of the shotgun is Bryce Russell, feeling the pressure.
Another flag.
He throws it off to his release valve to Steven Rivera, who runs up towards the right side, but another flag down in the backfield.
It was actually thrown by the side judge, so I don't know where that flag. It wasn't thrown by the referee behind the quarterback. Don't know what the call is. We'll see here what this great refereeing crew has tonight. It is against the Lions, though. Beautiful night for football here at the Minto Sportsplex in Nepean. 13-0. Great night.
Obviously, we always like to acknowledge our big sponsor and our partners in Ottawa football, the OSAG Foundation and the Ottawa Red Blacks, who are in action tonight against the Hamilton Tiger Cats with an opportunity to get first place in the East in the CFL.
Yeah, they have 3 games left, 2 against Hamilton. If they win any 2 of the 3 in any combination, they automatically get the first place bye into the semifinal, which is obviously what you want. Hamilton's playing good football right now, and the Red Blacks are really not.
13-0 with 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. This game, the last regular season game for both these teams before they head to the playoffs. Most likely they will face each other again. It's just a matter of who will have home field advantage. Right now it's favoring the Norsemen, but the third penalty in a row here.
And, you know, the referees don't want to call a lot of penalties, but when there's offside, that clearly is sort of one of those things that you got to do. Yeah, the clock.
So the coaching staff of the Giants, obviously led by, again, head coach Tony Vellante, who's we said is in his he's much a veteran of this team in this league.
He's been around as long as we've been here. I know that.
And Grant Mordin, Elliot Nelson, Terry Schaefer, Andrew Ellis, Tyler Young, Norman Fortier, Richard Saunders. Back to live action. We'll finish up the coaching staff of the Norsemen when we get back. Bryce Russell in the shotgun with Rivera next to him. He's going to look to pass. It looks like a screen they're setting up. He's going to tuck it, look for some space, but he is going to get caught in the backfield by Richard Graham.
He made the whole play from the start. He saw the screen pass. He covered the receiver. As soon as the quarterback panicked from the screen pass, that's 100% on the defense, and Richard Graham was the guy that was in perfect position on both plays.
Richard Graham, student at Hillcrest High School, which is your alma mater.
That is right.
So let's just have a look at this play here. We see him on the edge there on the right side. He does read the screen beautifully. Waits, forces him to tuck it in on a coverage sack, really. You don't see that very often. Great play by Richard Graham. And Strang is just going to kind of run the ball out of the back of the end zone and take a knee, killing a little bit more on the clock. He takes the clock down to 4:44 in the fourth quarter. Really, the Giants have had no answer on offense.
But the thing is, they have. You know what they've had? They've ran the ball really well with Rojan Wilson, and they haven't been able to convert third downs because they've gone away from the running game, and they haven't been able to complete passes. And we saw early in the first half, LaFleur wasn't able to keep the ball in the Giants' possession, turned over 3 times on interceptions. I know, based on what we saw, 2 of those interceptions were not really his fault. Those were good throws. And, you know, again, maybe he's hurt, and maybe they're saving him for next game.
I was going to say, you know, I think it's a combination of saving him.
Yep.
And I believe that he, you know, mentally, maybe he's just out of it at that point. He's frustrated.
Yep.
I do know Alex to be a very fierce competitor, and he might have kind of gotten hot, and they just said, you know what, relax, take the rest of the night off. Like I mentioned, this really is kind of a meaningless game in the fact that there's nothing that can really happen to avoid these 2 teams playing each other in the playoffs.
It's meaningless in the standings, right? And this is what people always need to understand when these kids are trying to make highlight films and trying to make tapes for their school. So every snap of every season is one chance that you have to prove yourself, and that's why this game is so important.
So 1st and 10 for the Giants. Tetro is going to play action and throw back to the Matt Gravel again, and Gravel having a tough time this season getting anything that's catchable to him.
Yep, and it's one of those things, like we've talked about this all year with the Giants, is the fact that they have so much talent, but it doesn't seem like they have the refined skill to execute some of these pass plays at a consistent level. That takes practice, that takes reps, and hopefully next year you'll see some of these guys come back and be able to execute a little bit better.
Well, they've got 3 years in the Big Ten in Ottawa to refine their skills, to develop as football players and get the press kit together with their highlights through Huddle.
That's right.
And getting their grades up at school. It's a great environment to play football in Ottawa. Midget football has never looked better in the last 15 years here in Ottawa. Tetro hands it off up the middle, and he's just going to spin his way down close to a first down.
So at this point in a game, or whenever a game is one of those situations when the standings aren't the most important part of the game, I tend to look at what a scout would be looking at. If a scout was watching this game and didn't know that it had no standings, who would he be impressed by? Number 5 for the Giants, Rojan Wilson, has been incredible tonight.
He has definitely been a shining point of this Giants team. Oliver coordinating his receivers, giving them some direction. The crowd's starting to pump up a little bit here. And Oliver is just going to run it himself up the middle. He gets a bit of room and the first down. He's still going, and he looked for him to put his shoulder down. He's not afraid of contact. That's that boy.
No, it's at this point in the game, like I don't care what they run on offense. Get some yards, try to get a touchdown. If you can get a touchdown and a 2-point conversion and then get an onside kick, you're going to have an opportunity to tie this game up. This game is not done, but it's going to take some big plays by the Giants to make it so. So let's see what can happen here. 1st and 10 for the Giants. Let's see what they can do.
Just changed the scoreboard there. Missed the 2 points that were conceded by the Norsemen. 13-2. First down for the Giants, and Tetro looking for a deep pass. He is sacked. And that is number 47 on the Norseman.
Honor Charlie.
Honor Charlie.
I don't know if it's I sort of feel it could be like a French name.
Yeah.
Like Honor Charlie. But I don't know. Either way, it's a great football play.
I tend to think it's more of like a Vietnam, Honor Charlie.
Oh, like an American name.
An American name.
Yeah, I get you. Like a soldier, like a Marine.
Oh, they're not going to call that offside by the receiver, but he clearly was. Tetro is going to run, pump fake, and really get nothing on that second down carry.
It's a good play by Jacob Papalia. Jacob Papalia with a great play, not going for the fake. So good job right there by the Norseman defense. And it looks like it's going to be coming up on 2 more plays for the Giants. And I don't know if they're going to have the skills to be able to get that first down. 3rd and 20, or 18.
Time running out on the Giants' effort tonight. Forced to change at spot at the QB position. Missing their star running back, Eric Baptiste. But they're keeping this game low scoring, which I guess is a positive, as Wilson
just relax.
Spins and rolls and is taken down in the backfield of the Giants.
That's just a good defensive play by the entire defense of the Norsemen. And I think you mentioned something just in passing right now, but I do think it's important. While the Giants were missing their best running back, there are a lot of positives from this game. Number 1, they ran the football really well. Okay? That's a great thing. And the other good thing is their defense did a really good job in holding the Norseman offense to not a lot of big plays. And you have to look at the positives sometime. Even though it's going to be a loss, it looks like, you still got to say to yourself, what do we do well? And at the end of the day, you made some big plays.
Yes, and I believe the other positive that we can mention is that the penalties were kept to a minimum.
Well, at least the personal foul type of penalties.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, there have been some holdings and I think 1 face mask, but based on the last few seasons and the last few games of the Giants, I'd say this is an improvement.
Yeah, and I think that when your defense only allows 13 points and your offense has turned the ball over 3 times, and you haven't been able to really sustain any drives, you have to say to yourself, we're playing this team next week. If we just find a way to convert a few plays and we get our best player back, I think the Giants got to be a little bit confident going into that game next week. I don't think they're going to be too worried about it, to be honest with you.
We shall see. The playoff structure is nearly in place. There might be, I don't think there will be too many changes. I mean, Canada is first place all the way. They went undefeated this season. The Norsemen and the Giants will face each other. The last place in the Big Ten will most likely be the Eagles. And let's see if we can bring up quickly the power rankings here. Canada and the Eagles will most likely face each other. You've got the Norsemen and the Giants. And now the Rasmen, will they be in the official Big Ten playoffs? We shall see after tomorrow night when they face their wild card matchup. That's picked off by Lakusa. Lakusa up the sideline, and he's just going to step out of bounds.
He won't get past Tetro there.
And he saves his body. I think that's a smart decision there.
What Deion Sanders calls
a business decision.
So that's what we're talking about right there. We know prime time. I actually don't like him on TV.
I like him. I like him. He's not versatile enough. Like, he's got his show.
Yeah,
and
that's what he's good at.
And he's good when, like, they bring him on to, to give his opinion on things. But you wouldn't want him as an anchor.
No, he's no Michael Irvin.
Or Tony Romo.
Yeah, Tony Romo's the best.
Like John Buck. He's
John
been
Buck.
doing it a long time.
I
like the Aikman-Buck pairing is pretty good.
Joe Buck has been on a couple podcasts I listen to, like just talking about sports. He's a cool dude, man.
Clock starts. And we'll see Bryce Russell's under center now. Eye back. They're just going to hand it off to Rivera. And he's going to try to chew the rest of the time off the clock. Hopefully there's no...
I want the referees to blow that play dead earlier. They don't need to allow these. That's how penalties happen. And then, just he went into the thing, blow it dead, let him off there. Minute left in the game. And I want to thank everyone for tuning in here. HESN Live, Friday Night Football, spectacular evening in the nation's capital. No tornadoes tonight. And if you're watching the Red Blacks, hopefully you got this on your laptop and you got the Red Blacks on your TV. Football night in Canada, baby.
Here we go on 2nd and 6. They run up the middle with Rivera again. And still kind of a late whistle again.
Let him get the first down.
But I am proud of the Giants and how they are responding. Obviously they would like to have won this game. You never go into a game not wanting to win it, but I think they've handled themselves quite maturely. And
looks like it's going to be victory formation here, Jesse.
So as the game comes to an end, I want to thank everyone, like Tyler just mentioned, thank everyone for tuning into HESN Live and tuning into the podcasts that we've been doing all season, the power rankings, the newsletter. You can go to the NCAFA.ca website, sign up for the newsletter, and we'll keep you informed, the league will, about all the doings here. That's going to be it. A final of 13-2. The Norsemen on top of the North Gloucester Giants. They're going to see each other again next week. I'm Jesse Card, here with Tyler McLaren, and at this point in the season, that's the regular season. Can you believe that we were here 9 weeks ago doing a game, I believe, Myers and the Canada Knights the first week?
What's amazing about the football season is how fast it comes and how fast it goes. And then you're sort of wishing you had it late in winter. But, at the end of the day, the best part of the season is coming up. We got tackle football happening in the fall, playoff football. This is the best.
That's it. The OUA's wrapping up their last regular season this weekend. And then the final seedings for the playoffs will be there. The Ravens, I believe, should make it. The GGs will.
Yep.
And Waterloo and Carleton kind of, I think, on the verge of making it, depending on what happens this weekend. So that's going to be some great football. We're going to see how the Red Blacks finished up their game. We're going to see Hamilton with the Red Blacks again. And just some great football. NCAFA is heading into the playoffs. I want to thank everyone for joining us. And make sure you like the HESN and NCAFA page. Make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And look for more content coming out this week, highlights, and next week playoff action. So good night from the nation's capital and the Nepean Sportsplex.